Welcome to Ring the Damn Bell. Of course, I am the host, KG, and we have my co-host, who wrestling enthusiast, Mark. What's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot, brother.
Cool. Let's get right into it. What you think about? Well, first, actually, let's not get into it. First, let's take care of a few things here. One, guys, please subscribe. I know we average about 45 to 100 people watching the video. If every single one of you guys can subscribe, I would really, really appreciate it. Also, I know normally we do a recap the next day. I apologize, it's Sunday. There's some things that I've been super busy with, so I wasn't able to get to the recap. But I promise you that we will try to stay on that normal schedule of doing the recaps the day after the event. So let's get to it. Let's go to a couple of news items. Not very much. Going to Saraya, former AEW World Champion Saraya hasn't been seen since before the Wrestle Dream pay-per-view in October, which has led a number of fans to wonder where she is going. However, Saraya is still very much with AEW, as Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select has reported that she is not injured as far as he's aware, and is just simply taking some time off away from the ring to work on some other projects. What those other projects are, I don't know. As far as I know, she could be making a movie or something. Next, Danhausen. He hasn't appeared on AEW TV in nearly a year. And for all of you fans waiting for him to come back, unfortunately, there is no conversation being had right now about bringing him back at this point. So, if you guys are big Danhausen fans, you guys are going to have to wait longer until AEW decides to bring him back. I'll be honest with you, I cannot stand that gimmick. I think it's dumb, and he adds nothing to professional wrestling as far as I'm concerned.
I disagree. I think yes, he has a lot to it. I think it's so moronic that it's enjoyable, and I'll stress moronic. I think he's got a great fan following. I think it's kooky enough where it's just different enough. Yeah, I look forward to seeing him again. I just you never know what to expect out of him.
You're the guy that's always crying about these little guys. They need to be, 285,000 pounds with muscles coming out of their eyeballs for them to be believable. And here we are, Danhausen, who is just about as small and skinny as Marco, whatever his last name is. Was that?
Marco Stunt.
Yeah, Marco Stunt, who you just said the other day you're glad he's not coming back to professional wrestling.
I don't remember saying that, but I'm not.
Yeah, proper conversation. But here you are saying you want Danhausen back. Now you've lost your mind.
I know. Apparently, during the podcast today. So, all right,
let's get to it.
Well, I'll try, but all right. So we start SmackDown. It's in Milwaukee today, or that day. Cody comes to the ring, calls out KO. Nick Aldis, get out of my way, dude. Nick Aldis comes out, says KO's not there. Talks about the pile driver being banned, although other variances are allowed. Yeah, I know. It's moronic. Oh, KO's banned until further internally issues are resolved.
Which apparently is as soon as next week, and apparently 30 seconds later, they fixed those issues because Kevin Owens was invited back to SmackDown next Friday to show up live, which I'm sure we'll get to that videotape that was made awful quick. And look, the storyline itself, is decent. I'll give them that. But how they are, the way they are giving us the storyline is what's making it dumb. The so-called power driver that's been banned for years, okay. Then Nick Aldis saying KO cannot come back until some issues internally are fixed with KO. And then we get a segment a couple of minutes later with KO on video stating that he's invited to come back next Friday. It makes it dumb. It really does. At least give it 2 weeks before we see KO again saying, hey, I'm invited to come back, type of a thing. But whatever. What do I know?
I thought the whole thing was kind of foolish too, but what can I say? Although when Cody made his plea to Nick Aldis, God, it sounded awfully familiar to Randy Orton talking to Triple H. Oh, I'm glad you picked up on that too. You know, playing to their wrestler side of their personality versus their office side.
Yeah, yeah. It's, I said, whatever.
All right, so next, come on, dude, come on, dude. Next, we go to
He just wants to be a star as well.
I guess he will. Um, then we go to Jay, Jimmy, and Sammy talking about their fifth person for War Games. Sammy leaves to go contact somebody. Then we got Bailey versus Candice versus B-Fab. B-Fab was looking pretty inexperienced. Uh,
So let me stop you for a second with BFAB.
yep,
So BFAB has that red hair, right?
yep.
Now, I had actually paused it because I was finally able to watch it last night. And I had to pause it because I had to bring my dogs out. And I didn't pay attention when I paused it. I just hit pause, right? When I got back to the TV on pause, all I see was BFAB with that red hair. And I swear to you, at first I'm like, what is oh what's her name? She was on Total Divas, the red hair.
Eva Marie.
Dude, at first I was like, it's Eva. And weirdly enough, I remembered her name last night. I was like, is Eva Marie back? What the fuck did I miss? Right? And then I unpaused it. Of course, it was BFAB. But from the back, her hair is very much like Eva Marie.
Hmm. I don't know. I kind of like Eva Marie. Not as a wrestler, her personality I liked.
Eva Marie, I think, could have been very successful if they booked her correct way. This is back whenever Vince was running things, and people can say what they want because yeah, I get it. Under Vince is when we started actually getting the women's division, and it went from the Divas title to the World Heavyweight title. But at the same time, I don't think he took women's wrestling very seriously. I think he only did this because of pressure. Because if it was up to Vince, I think we would still have women doing stupid shit on WWE, like whipped cream fights, or the whole thing with Edge and Lita, having sex supposedly. It's just stupid stuff, right? Um, so yeah, and unfortunately, there's been a lot of women who fell under that Vince's rule, running things, and that's why a lot of these women they didn't make it. It's because of that stuff. And Eva Marie, people say what they want. She was extremely athletic, and I think she was extremely talented. She was good on the mic, but she was booked terribly. She was given terrible storylines. So to me, that's why she didn't make it.
Yeah. Anyways, Bailey gets the roll up for the pin. Come on, dude, stop, stop. Um, okay, then we go backstage to
So let
Sam.
me let, let me stop you real quick about this match. I don't hate the fact that Bailey got the pin. I really don't. But at the same time, I actually wanted BFAP to win that match because how many times have we seen Bailey go for that championship, right? And not saying that she doesn't deserve it. Bailey's good. Bailey's great. She's decent on the mic. She's good in the ring. Kudos to her, right? I like Bailey. But it would be nice to see something fresh in the women's division as far as a title being held. And I think a new talent like BFAB making it to be able to go 101 for that new title that they have. Um, because this is what this is for, is that new title, correct?
I think it's more for they're going to give it to somebody with a history and a background for
But
legitimate.
what I'm saying is this isn't for a number one contender match against Nia Jax, is it?
No, 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 no. It was
Okay, it's for the new title, right? So I get it. I get they want to go with someone with history to make this title feel important, but at the same time, I think that if they did it right, that they could make this title feel just as important with someone like B Fab because she is so great in the ring, man. She is, and she's someone else that she is good on the mic. I don't think that she would hurt that title being new by her having it. I think it would be fresh, but it is what it is. And again, not hitting on Bailey. Bailey's great, and if anybody can make that title feel important, it is Bailey. I was just rooting for B Fab.
okay. So when they brought out the world championship that Finn took originally, and then Seth made it legitimate, should they have put it on somebody like Austin Theory?
No, because Austin Theory, there's something about him that people don't connect with. Listen to when he comes to the ring. He doesn't even really get a hold. He gets boos, right? But it's not what he should be getting. If you're going to put it on someone new, it has to be someone that the crowd is solidly behind, right? It has to be someone that people are invested in. So no, it would have worked for Austin Theory, and I can't think of any male talent that could have made that's new to the roster that the people really got or like was behind that should have won that title, with the exception of at that time LA Knight. But even LA Knight, because of how they booked this guy, he went from Rocket all the way, to the stars with the crowd behind him to yes, the crowd's still behind him. He still gets a pop, but not like he used to get. And it's because again, it's because of creative or whoever's producing the match that they've kind of got the crowd to be not as loud for him as they used to. So, but at that time, I think LA Knight could have been that guy as well, as long as he was booked correctly after he got that title.
Fair enough. All right. So then we go backstage. Sammy talking to LA Knight. Then they kind of pan away to BFAB backstage uh, when Chelsea and Piper show up.
So
And
hold on. You didn't say who was talking to LA Knight.
Sammy.
Sammy, very good. Okay.
I said Sammy, I thought.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
That's all right.
I'm old and deaf, man.
It's all right. Uh, then Mitchin comes in looking for a fight, basically, and Piper and Chelsea leave.
That was dumb. The way she was dressed was dumb. Mitchin, it was terrible. Didn't like it. And she's someone else that should be booked as a real threat for things because she's great. When I say it was terrible, I'm not saying that it's her fault. I'm saying the shit they have her doing. WWE with their women's division, look, they're obviously a million times better than AEW's women's division, right? They are. But, but at the same time, to me, they are not pushing the some of their talent that they should be pushing in the right direction. They're not treating them seriously like they should. The reason why I say AEW's women division is much better than AEW's women division is because Tony Khan has completely poo-pooed all over the women's division there. He uses the same girls. The storylines aren't very fresh, right? And he has such a talented women's division there. Oh my God. If Tony Khan got the right person in there for that women's division to work with them and create storylines and to produce great matches, that is one of the things that, in my opinion, AEW could surpass WWE with is with their women's division. But they're not going to because of Tony Khan.
I like the whole Anna Jay and Mariah May feud. I liked it.
I did, but again, watch, pay attention to your Wednesday nights, right? And you're going to see these same women there. Where are the rest of them? Where are these rest of these women that's with them, right? He doesn't really push them on Fridays nor on Saturdays. He uses the same handful of women. I mean, he has enough television time that he should be using more. Matter of fact, I would dare say on his Friday night shows or his Saturday night shows, pick one of them to feature mostly women with just a couple of guy matches, no men matches on there. You have the opportunity to feature your women on there.
That's
Pick
funny.
one night. If
Saturday
it's
night,
not,
Saturday night main event was Anna
yeah,
Jay and Brian Ray.
yep,
And
yep. And again, great for them. He has more wrestlers than those two women.
yeah, Mina Shirero was in a match for Saturday night.
Again, he has so many women there that are so talented that he's not using.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that. So all right. LA Knight goes to the ring, offers an open challenge. Phantasma comes out.
So
Does
hold on. It's important. You skipped over. So when LA Knight he came out to the ring, and the first thing that he said was that Sammy went to him and asked him to be part of his team. And LA Knight summed it up with, I don't want to be part of that civil war. I'm not going to be part of that civil war. And if both bloodlines, basically kill each other, right? I don't care. Great. That'd be better for the business. He didn't use those exact words, but that's basically what he was saying. And I like this. I do. And I tell you why I like this. They're not treating the fans, at least with some of the storyline, not all of it, but some of the storyline. They're not treating the fans like we're a bunch of idiots that don't remember 6 months, a year ago, what the original bloodline was doing to all these wrestlers, right? And they're showing that these, that hey, yeah, these wrestlers still remember what's happening to them. And they're saying, "Fuck these guys." Why should I help them when they did all this shit to me? I like when storylines they do this and they don't treat their fans like they're idiots. Kind of like with that whole the pile driver being banned bullshit, right? They're treating fans like they're stupid when they do stuff like that. So kudos to whoever in creative said, no, no, no. We're going to bring up the fact that the OG bloodline and they don't have a great reputation either. So I like that.
okay. So what's the difference of what they did to Sammy? They had a freaking trial for Sammy. They threw him out, and all of a sudden Sammy's like, "Oh, I can let bygones be bygones." No, that's
No, no, that's not what happened. If you pay attention, now I wish they would have drugged a little bit longer with Sammy deciding to team up and going back with them. But they did approach it that, Sammy said it when he originally came to, hey, I wasn't coming for Roman Reigns or Jimmy Uso. My brother, my boy Jay Uso was in trouble. That's why I came in the ring to help. Screw the rest of you guys. Jay Uso was the one that went and begged Sammy to give them another chance, right? Jay Uso even went as far as saying, I am sorry for saying that you're not family because you are family, right? Please show up next Friday night. Let's talk to Roman, please. And even then, he showed up. Even then, though, Sammy was kind of like, he wasn't sure about it. Roman was like, absolutely not. And then Sammy left the ring, and that's when Solo came. And this was a few weeks ago, guys, and said, "Yeah, because Sammy's part of us," and it left you kind of wondering. And of course, at the end of the night, it's when Sammy went and jumped on Solo. But so no, they didn't approach it like we were stupid and that we forgot what Roman Reigns did to Sammy. They kind of dotted their I's and crossed their T's with that. I think it would have been better if it would have been a few weeks of them drawing it out for Sammy deciding if he was going to be with them or not. Because again, you remember what I said I was bitching about? I was saying, man, the storyline is the same storyline they did before, where they don't really trust Sammy. Sammy's kind of not sure about them type of a thing. And they finally moved on from that. So it seems I still think that Sammy's going to turn on him though, just me. Um, and we'll get to all of this because I really want to talk about what happened with the Bloodline storyline tonight.
All right. So, anyways, uh, Escobar says he'll take the challenge. LA says, "Nah, your boy here, Humberto, he's staring daggers at me. I'll take him on." So Humberto and LA Knight had a match, which you know what I thought was a damn good match, to be honest.
It was a very good match. I was surprised how good it was. I was also thankful that that LA Knight decided that, no, I need to go with this kid right here because he's taking daggers through me, right? Instead of the same match that we've been seeing over and over again.
You know, I
Uh,
think Escobar and Humberto and Humberto's cousin, I can't think of his name. I think they're all great talent.
oh yeah, absolutely. But I like to see fresh stuff, even if it's with the same faction that the babyface is having to do battle with, but a different person within that faction. I'm fine with that. We've seen Escobar and we've seen LA Knight a lot within the past year, right? So I'm glad that they just went with someone new within that faction to have that battle, that fight with. Because I mean, it's not just Escobar that needs to be featured, that needs to be built up. Because eventually, if they do break this faction up, the point is to have stars come out in that faction type of a thing.
Yeah. So, anyways, Humberto looked good. LA got the pin, and out of nowhere, Shinsuke Nakamura comes up and just knocks LA Knight out, and Shinsuke looked badass.
Let me tell you, we now have the sensei Jesus, the say his name again so I can pronounce correctly.
Shinsuke.
Shinsuke. It's my um, speech impediment that gives problems. Sensei Nakamura, we now have the Crow Sensei Nakamura. Because that's exactly what he looked like, but I'm not complaining. This was great. I hope this is his new look. I prefer this look with the paint on his face. Did you notice the paint on his face?
No, actually, I didn't.
I prefer this look with the paint on his face than with his red gear. And I really hope, and I'm begging WWE to please treat Shinsuke correctly. This guy is money. He's gold. He's one of my favorites. I love him. I even love his interviews that he gives in his native tongue with the words underneath it because he does it. If some professional wrestlers did this, it would take away from them. Which Shinsuke, it doesn't. It even makes it kind of look more badass just because of how he presents himself whenever he's speaking in his native tongue. I fucking love it. Keep it that way. Don't make that man struggle with English on the mic. He's too good in his native tongue. We can read, and it just looks badass. But yes, do not touch Shinsuke. And believe it or not, as much as I like LA Knight, have LA Knight drop that title to Shinsuke and let Shinsuke go on a run like he's never gone on a run in WWE before, and make him that silent assassin, man.
I think he should be world champion.
Absolutely.
Ah! They won't do it, but I think he should be.
Yep.
All right, so next we go to Jay, Jimmy, and Sammy. Go to meet Roman to tell Roman they got no one. The new bloodline goes to the ring. Then the old bloodline, original bloodline, comes out. A fight ensues. Bronson Reed comes to the ring. Uh, let's
Let's
see.
stop right there.
Yep.
Let's stop right there for a moment, Mark. Remember last week we were talking, and I told you my contact told me it was going to be Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins. And at first, I hated the idea of Bronson Reed being the fifth guy for the new bloodline. Ladies and gentlemen, I was absolutely wrong because let me tell you, when I tell you that Bronson Reed looks like he belongs there, looks like he's actually part of that bloodline, oh my God. It looked natural. It really did. It looked organic. It looked like he should have been with the new bloodline. I
Yep.
hope they permanently add him to the new bloodline, right? I really do. And let me say this, and I'll land my plane, Mark. He sure as hell, the new bloodline with their members sure as hell look more organic and natural than what the OG bloodline looks with Sammy and now Seth Rollins. They don't look good together. They really don't. Um, it so yeah, you know, I think the new bloodline they look fucking badass. They even look more badass now with Bronson Reed with them.
Now, right before Bronson showed up, it was just Jacob Fatu and Roman in the ring, and I'm telling you, I was ready for that. You know,
Yeah,
they
yep.
really Jacob soon
That's
because
why WWE has kind of been keeping them separated, even during tag team matches. That both of them they have a brief moment in the ring together, and then they're usually tagging someone else. And I hope they keep on doing this until we have a the right time and storyline for Fatu, Jacob Fatu, and Roman Reigns. Speaking of, I'm glad you brought that up. I do have some breaking a little bit of breaking news. Um, Journey Fatu. If you don't know who Journey Fatu is, he is Jacob Fatu's brother. He is now signing with WWE. So we're going to have another Fatu in WWE. I'm not complaining, guys, but all I'm saying is before long, WWE is going to be nothing but that royal bloodline family that started originally many years ago. But yeah, so Journey Fatu is now going to be signing with WWE.
hmm. Anyway, they missed the boat on Jacob Fatu. They should have had him 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
Yeah,
because he's a talent.
yeah, I agree. But yeah, it's like I said, I the OG, I mean the new bloodline is absolutely phenomenal. You know, I think that they just look great together with Bronson Reed. Oh my gosh, I was shocked.
Yeah, I think Bronson Reed's a great ad, but I don't think they're that great at looking at a group. I think Solo just takes away from that group. I think Solo doesn't belong in that group.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm glad you said
What?
that. 'Cause it reminded me of something I was thinking last night when I was looking at it. I'll be honest with you. If anyone should be the leader of that group, it should be Fatu, right? Because I get that you would want someone like Fatu to be the guy, the enforcer type guy, but at the same time, Solo was doing a fine job as the enforcer, right back when that was his role. So I think they should have kept him in that position. Nothing against Solo. I just don't think he's ready yet, and should have had Fatu in that role of he is the new tribal king. And I know this is going to sound absolutely ridiculous, right? Just how I am. One of the things that bugs me about Solo is his fucking pants with those dress shoes that he wears. It looks dumb. I think it looks horrible, and I think it makes him look like a joke. Not, I don't know why, but the pants is their high waters, which is what the kids wear now. The dress shoes look like the cheap ass dress shoes that you buy at Payless, right? And I don't know, it looks terrible to me. Um, and he's gotten better on the mic. I wouldn't say he was great. And Fatu is a type of guy that doesn't have to say much, but he is decent on the mic. And he just looks. I think that he would make that the new bloodline legitimate. I really do. And it would make them look more unstoppable than what they do.
He's got that look like your parents did back in the 70s and 80s, where they could just give you a look and you'd fall in line.
Yeah. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I have now been able to figure out how to say Adoe, Anoe. That is the last name of that bloodline culture. It came from the Noe bloodline. And I'll be honest again, Bronson Reed looks like he could be part of that bloodline or the Fatu bloodline, which they're all together. But yeah, man, Bronson, honestly, what would be awesome? I just thought about this. If they decided that they wanted the original bloodline back together, and at War Games, it's Solo that cost the new bloodline the match, and he's the reason why Roman Reigns becomes a tribal chief again. So Fatu turns on Solo, kick his ass out of the new bloodline. Roman Reigns, because their baby faces, has empathy, takes Solo back, and the new the new bloodline will be of Fatu as a leader with Bronson Reed in there.
Not going to happen.
I know it's not going to happen. That is my dream. That would be my dream scenario, though, for this.
So, anyways, after Bronson Reed shows up, another fight breaks out. Roman ends up taking a tsunami, and he sells it really good, actually. All right, then that pretty much ends that. Then we go to Kevin Owens' video saying he was asked to be at SmackDown next week.
There's nothing more that I could even think about saying than what I already said in the beginning. Again, I like the storyline. I do. But how they're presenting it to us, I don't. You should have at least, even if you just waited 1 week before you played that Kevin Owens video, right? But I get it. I get it. Next week, I believe, is the pay per view for the War Games. Was that?
Next week is AEW. The following week is SmackDown or WWE.
AEW is at the 30th, I believe. Hold on.
I thought it was the 23rd.
Maybe. Let me see. Oh.
We're so prepared.
Yeah.
So prepared for our show. It's great.
So, nope. You are absolutely correct. So, The premium live event is of course the Survivor Series, and it's Saturday, November 30th. So AEW is next week. Well, but this just goes on to tell you that why did they rush this then? They absolutely had time to wait. Matter of fact, maybe, just maybe, this should have been part of the go home show,
Could have been.
So
They got some
whatever.
that we're not privy to yet.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I am just some host of this little nothing podcast. What do I know?
Right. All right. So next we go Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns. The Street Profits were a little bit more aggressive than what we've seen in the past.
So apparently they're trying to turn the oh man, the bigger of the Street Profits. What's his name again?
Dawson.
Yeah, I think it's Dawson. Um, I'm gonna double check though. But anyway, apparently they're trying to turn him heel, and it's supposed to be a slow turn. And I guess um, they are looking to possibly break up the Street Profits.
They kind of mentioned.
Oh, yeah, Montel Fords and Dawkins. Yeah, Angelo Dawkins. So apparently they are looking to, and I actually was just reading about this today. They are looking to possibly turn Angelo Dawkins heel, turning on, of course, his tag team partner, Montez Ford, and break up the Street Profits. But this is the problem, and I think I got this from Wrestling Inc. The problem is that the fans doesn't seem to care. It doesn't seem like the fans just get behind this heel turn. So we'll see what WD will do. I would hate for them to break up the Street Profits. I think they're a great tag team. I wouldn't mind seeing a heel street, the heel version of Street Profits. Because the Montel Ford, man, he is just fucking phenomenal.
Yep.
He is definitely the star out of that group. But I like Angelo Dawkins, and my fear is that if they break the Street Profits up, and after the feud between Dawkins and Montel Ford is done with, Dawkins will become nothing but barely a mid Carter.
Yep. Yep.
And I don't want that for him. So,
Um. So, anyways, in the match, Tommaso Ciampa Gargano comes out to play Peacemaker. Ciampa pushes Gargano down and walks off.
love this.
All right. Now the Street Profits are kind of arguing on the way out too.
Yeah. I loved it, man. Ciampa, and I said this, I think last week. Um, Man, Ciampa as a heel, it's great. And as much as I want to see a Gargano Ciampa feud again, because we had seen it on NXT, we talked about how amazing that was. I was thinking about that. I wouldn't mind seeing a DIY heel turn completely, where Johnny Gargano and Ciampa are both heels, and they're both very aggressive. Because I think that this tag team as a heel tag team could really go places. I do, man. I think that would be wonderful. As long as again they were booked right. But I mean, look, in what world do you look at Chop and believe that he could ever be a babyface? Come on.
See, Ciampa to me could be a Stone Cold Steve Austin. Maybe not quite that level, but I think Ciampa's got it in to be a world champion and to be a legitimate world champion. But they
Yeah.
don't put him in that position, and I don't see why not. Because when he had the NXT title, he was a believable champ, and he was a good champ.
Yeah. I think that I really don't know how Paul Levesque feels about smaller talent. Ciampa's a built guy, but he's not tall. He's short. He's short, right? So could it be because he's not this big, 6 foot, at least 6 foot, 6 foot one, whatever guy that's in great shape? Do you think they put a belt on someone like Ciampa? being a shorter guy. I know Vince wouldn't. Um,
Oh, Vince put it on Eddie. Vince put it on Chris. Vince put it on
on who?
Rey Mysterio, Chris Benoit, Eddie
Yeah,
Guerrero.
but you also have to consider the, consider the times back then, um, and who Rey Mysterio was at that time, who Chris, Benoit was at that time, and who's the other one you mentioned?
Eddie
Oh,
Guerrero.
Eddie, yeah. Look, these guys, yeah, they had that smaller stature, but at the same time, they were in all of those guys you mentioned. They were in that little clique with the man who's running the dressing rooms, which is the Undertaker, and
Mm,
that played a big difference. It,
I don't.
it really did. That played a factor.
I don't know if I ever heard that. You know,
Oh yeah,
I know
yeah.
views Benoit is like the top one of the top five of smaller wrestlers. All right, but I don't remember hearing Undertaker was back any of these guys. Yeah, I could be wrong. I just never heard it.
They were part of that clique.
Hmm.
Now don't get me wrong, they weren't as a part of that clique like the oh man, who was it was the oh man, he the pimp,
Godfather,
yeah, the Godfather,
Una.
and, and a few of the other those guys. I'd have to look up who's involved with it, but they weren't as close like that. But Marcus said that he was really good friends with Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, and Rey Mysterio Jr. So, and I think that played a difference in
Yeah,
it. Not to mention the fans, man. I mean, back then it mattered what the fans thought.
yeah, it did.
So,
Yep. All right. So then we go to a quick recap of Naomi pinning Nia last week. Then Naomi backstage with Bailey. Then Jade and Bianca come saying they're there to back up Naomi, and Bailey kind of falls along the wayside. Uh, then they confirm for KO next week to talk to Cody. Then Naomi comes to the ring. Nia comes out with Tiffany. Tiffany leaves real quick though. Then we have the match with Naomi and
Naya,
Tiffany
I
comes
tell
up. Go ahead.
that. No, I was going to say this match, man. I didn't know how I felt about this match, right? But was I wrong? This match was actually phenomenal. It really was. Especially the last 5 to 10 minutes of the match.
Yeah,
Man, there were some really good spots in that match and some really close false falls in that match. That there was a couple of times I thought, holy shit, they're going to actually put the belt on Naomi. Um, but yeah, it was a good match, and I really wanted to mention that how much I really enjoyed the match because, I've been pretty hard on Naomi and the fact that I think that she needed to turn heel because, it seemed like the people had kind of stopped caring somewhat about her. But man, last night she was just wonderful, and so Nia Jax gets shit on a lot too, and she did really well last night. This was a really good match in my opinion.
okay, hold on now. So at one point you got Nia on the second rope with Naomi ready for a slam pin. Okay, and Naomi reverses it. That defies the laws of physics. All right, I don't see how Naomi could have reversed that. Whatever. Anyways,
Because whenever you're in the air, then you're lighter. It's kind of like when you're in water.
right, but it was before that she was in the air that she reversed it. It was right as they were coming off. Okay, it just go back and look at it. It just looks really bad.
Well,
All right. So in the meantime, Tiffany comes out, tries to interfere. Bailey comes out, takes out Tiffany. Candice LeRae comes out, takes out Bailey. Uh, let's see. Nia gets the pin.
Yep. Yep.
Up to Roman.
Um, said I thought that it was a good match. Um, I really wish they would pull the trigger on, you know, Tiff Stratton, on
Yeah,
Tiffy,
yeah,
because they are risking. Look, wrestling fans these days they have somewhat of a short attention span, right? And I personally think that they're risking them not caring if Tiffy cashes in or not on Nia Jax. Um, I think that if they did it relatively soon, that you would have a storyline that people would really be into between the two. But I don't know. I mean, they only have a few more months because she has to cash it in either before or right at WrestleMania.
right. And see, that's the thing. I think it's going to happen at this pay per view or at the latest Royal Rumble to build for a WrestleMania match.
Right,
Right.
right.
Really, I don't see much of a match with
No,
me and Nia.
yeah,
I money in it.
yeah. Now Tiffany Stratton, I was watching some videos of hers, and there's this one particular video where she didn't have a whole lot of makeup on her face, right? And I really think she goes really heavy with the makeup just for WWE when she's on camera. But let me tell you, she looks so much better without all that makeup on her face than what she does when you see her on camera. She just looks more natural. But Tiffany Stratton surprisingly has a really good sense of humor. Some of the things that she was doing was making me laugh. So I would go Google Tiffany Stratton um, and watch some of the videos with her and her boyfriend, and some of the things that she likes to do to goof off, playing around with other um of the female rosters. Yeah, great sense of humor. It actually made me like her a little bit more.
Oh, I like Tiffany. I think she's a hell of a talent. Great personality, great ring work. For being so inexperienced in years, she's only got like 2 years, I think.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like gone on like wildfire.
Yeah. Do you think that when she turns babyface, and she's going to turn babyface, when she catches that in, well, let me rephrase that. If she indeed catches it against Nia Jax, she's going to turn babyface. It won't be Nia that's going to be babyface. Nia's too. She's so much better as a heel. People when she's a babyface, she doesn't really get a reaction.
And she,
And that's not me being a dick. That's just the truth. But do you think that the fan base will jump on that Tiffany Stratton bandwagon as a babyface?
I think there's a good chance of that. I think it's I I think we're conditioned to like blonde hair, blue eyes. All right. So it's hard to dislike blonde hair, blue eyes, you know. So I think it's gonna be an easy transition for her.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it'll happen soon enough. But yeah, and that's pretty much our recap for
Hold
SmackDown.
on, hold on.
I,
The show ends
wait. Oh
Roman
yeah, go ahead. I forgot about that. Yeah, go ahead.
show ends with Roman trying to call the wise man.
That's right.
Numbers not in service.
This is what's dumb. This is what's dumb. They tried to sell that as well. That's because if you remember, his phone was destroyed whenever the new bloodline attacked him. Just because your phone's destroyed doesn't mean the fucking phone number is unavailable anymore. Your phone number still fucking exists, right? Now, I hope what they're really trying to sell is that because Roman Reigns left the way he did and didn't come back, that the wise man was pissed off and said, I don't want to have anything else to do with the bloodline because they didn't come help me out. They let me get my ass kicked. Fuck them, right? Now, what would be awesome about that is if he came back, but with some either a new talent or for someone that hasn't been on TV in a long time, I'm not talking about Brock Lesnar. I don't want to see it be Brock Lesnar, but there's quite a few Paul Heyman wrestlers out there. So I really hope that that's what we see. And I hope that that's what we see at this coming pay per view or the PLE Premium Live Event. And I hope we see it at War Games during the match, and they present it like no one wanted to help the OG bloodline. So now it's 4 against 5. And then whenever it looks like the OG, they won't be able to do it, Paul Heyman comes out with this new guy that's going to be the 5th member, and that's how the OG is going to defeat the new bloodline. That's what I hope. I don't think it's going to happen that way. It's going to be Seth Rollins as the 5th member. We could pretty much guarantee it because, again, we've seen Bronson Reed as the 5th member. It's pretty predictable at this point.
I like your line of thought. I like that. I can get behind that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it would make it exciting and fresh.
Well, I don't know about fresh, but
I'm talking about with a new face, someone new.
yeah, all right.
Instead of just we know it's Seth Rollins now because Bronson Reed type of a thing. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's how SmackDown went off air last night. I will admit though, although I thought the whole "it's out of service" was a little dumb, at the same time, it did leave me last night wanting a little more just to see what's going to happen with the Paul Heyman thing. Seeing if Paul Heyman is going to show up next week or something. Because Paul Heyman, they're definitely ready for him to come back because Paul Heyman has been, for the past month, backstage at every SmackDown. So he's definitely been written into that storyline already. It's just a matter of when they're going to pull the trigger and have him make his comeback debut.
Right.
So, but yeah, do you have anything?
That's it for me, I think.
All right, guys. Well, yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching the podcast, guys. And again, please subscribe to the channel Wednesday. I am going to possibly be having an interview. Once I get it confirmed tomorrow, I'll let everyone know who it is. But yeah, like and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't caught the Baby Doll interview yet, please catch that. Same thing in the Magnum TA. And we will see everyone on Tuesday. You guys have a great week.
All right, ring the damn bell.
Ring the damn bell.